Did you know? The ice cream cone, a delightful treat we all love today, was invented in 1904. Imagine a hot summer day at the World's Fair in St. Louis. Vendors were serving up delicious ice cream, but they ran out of bowls to serve it in. Nearby, a vendor named Ernest Hamwi was selling thin, crispy waffles called zalabis. Quick on his feet, he rolled up his waffles into cone shapes and offered them to the ice cream sellers. This creative solution not only saved the day, but also became a sweet sensation. Kids and adults alike loved this new way to enjoy ice cream, and soon the ice cream cone became a favorite treat around the world. So next time you enjoy a cone, remember this tasty twist from 1904.
Did you know? In ancient Egypt, makeup wasn't just for looking pretty. It had superpowers. Both men and women used colorful eye paints made from crushed rocks like malachite and galena. These weren't just for style. Egyptians believed the makeup protected them from evil spirits. That dark black eyeliner, it helped block the bright desert sun, like ancient sunglasses. And it kept flies away too. Even cooler, they thought it helped keep their eyes healthy, like ancient medicine. So next time you see makeup, remember, it started as magical protective paint in the land of the pyramids. Did you know one of the world's oldest towns had no streets at all? It's called Çatalhöyük, and it's in modern-day Turkey. Over 9,000 years ago, people lived in mud brick houses stacked right next to each other. But here's the coolest part. They climbed in through the roof. That's right, no doors, no roads, just rooftops. Families walked across the top of the town like one big rooftop maze. Inside, they painted walls with animals and symbols and even made sculptures. Life back then was all about sharing, working together, and living close. Çatalhöyük shows us how the first cities began, with creativity, teamwork, and rooftops for sidewalks. Did you know? One of the coolest inventions that helped explorers navigate the world was the compass. Long ago, before GPS or maps, travelers needed a way to find their direction. The compass was invented in ancient China, around the 2nd century BC, using a simple magnetic needle that pointed north. This amazing tool made it possible for sailors and explorers to travel across oceans and discover new lands. Imagine being an explorer on a ship, looking at the stars and using a compass to find your way. Thanks to the compass, people could travel farther than ever before, opening up a world of adventure and discovery. Isn't it incredible how a small invention could guide such big journeys? Did you know? Eyeglasses were invented in the 1200s and they changed the world. Imagine trying to read or write, but everything is blurry. That's what life was like for many people before eyeglasses. The first eyeglasses were made in Italy, and they were a game changer. They looked different from the glasses we wear today, more like two magnifying glasses connected by a handle. These early spectacles were mainly used by monks and scholars who needed to read. This incredible invention helped people see clearly, allowing them to read, write, and explore new ideas. So next time you put on your glasses, remember you're part of a long history of seeing the world more clearly. Did you know? The Vikings were incredible ocean explorers. Long before Christopher Columbus set sail, the Vikings had already traveled across the Atlantic Ocean. Around the year 1000 AD, a brave Viking named Leif Erikson led a journey from Greenland to what we now call North America. They called this new land Vinland because of the wild grapes they found there. The Vikings built sturdy ships called longships that could sail fast and handle rough seas. These ships helped them explore and trade across vast distances. So, next time you hear about explorers, remember the adventurous Vikings who ventured into unknown lands long before many others. Did you know? The Silk Road was like a superhighway of the ancient world. Stretching over 4,000 miles, it linked the east and west, allowing traders, explorers, and even ideas to travel across continents. Imagine camels loaded with silk, spices, and treasures, trekking through deserts and mountains.
But it wasn't just about goods, but also a road for sharing stories, art, and inventions. From the Great Wall of China to the bustling markets of Constantinople, the Silk Road connected diverse cultures, sparking curiosity and creativity. So next time you hear a story about a far-off land, remember it might have traveled down this amazing road. Did you know? The Phoenicians made purple dye from sea snails. A long time ago in the ancient city of Tyre, they discovered that a tiny sea snail could make a drop of bright purple color. It took thousands of snails to make just one robe. That's why purple was rare and only worn by kings and queens. The dye was called Tyrian purple. It smelled really bad when they made it, but the color was beautiful and never faded. Thanks to the Phoenicians, purple became the color of royalty worldwide. Did you know ancient Egyptians used bread as money? Thousands of years ago, before coins and paper bills, people in Egypt traded loaves of bread for things like clothes, tools, and even animals. Bread was so important, workers who built the pyramids were paid in it, along with onions. That's right. Instead of dollars, their paycheck was food. Imagine buying a toy with toast. It shows how different life was in the past, and how food could be just as valuable as gold. Isn't that a delicious piece of history? Did you know there was once a magical place filled with all the knowledge in the world? It was called the Library of Alexandria. Built over 2,000 years ago in ancient Egypt, this library wasn't just shelves of scrolls, it was a wonder of the ancient world. People came from everywhere to learn math, science, stars, and stories. It held over 500,000 scrolls. Imagine that. No internet, no books, just handwritten scrolls packed with ideas. And guess what? Ships that arrived in Alexandria had to share any books they carried. The library would copy them and add the knowledge inside. Talk about collecting facts. But one day, it mysteriously disappeared. Some say it burned down. Others say it slowly faded away. Even though it's gone, the Library of Alexandria still inspires our love for learning today. Because when we share knowledge, we build wonders. Did you know? Kites have a colorful and exciting history that dates back over 2,000 years to ancient China. Originally, kites were not just toys, but also important tools used by the military. In ancient times, Chinese generals used kites to measure distances, send messages, and even to frighten their enemies with their dragon-shaped designs, soaring in the sky. These early kites were made from bamboo and silk, materials that were both strong and light. The idea of flying kites spread across Asia and eventually the world, turning into a beloved pastime for children and adults alike. Today, kites come in all shapes and sizes, but their origins remind us of their fascinating journey from military tools to joyful playthings.